Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be about things to expect whenever you go for an evaluation for autism, and also signs and things to look for. So to start with, I would say that if you're going for an evaluation, be prepared for the word diagnosis. Somebody else mentioned this to me, and it was very helpful. Yet even throughout his evaluation, I thought that he did such a good job, and the word and term diagnosis totally left my mind. So then when he was ultimately diagnosed with autism, it was still kind of a shocker, kind of a punch in the gut. But anyway, so that's kind of number one. And then I guess whenever you're going through the evaluation, expect to see things that you had never seen before, and also honestly see your kid shine, but also witness some delays. Because no matter whether you come out with a diagnosis for autism, more than likely, if you're at this point in the game, there will be some sort of a diagnosis given. There's also what's called global developmental delay, and that's just basically delayed compared to their peers in different areas. So again, if you're this far, then more than likely something will come out of it. That's not bad, but be prepared. What else was I going to say in regard to that? Other things. It's a long evaluation. It's like 3 or 4 hours long. Take snacks, take things that they like, to keep them entertained between waiting rooms, that sort of thing. They'll be weighed. They'll be measured in different ways. You will be questioned, so kind of think back to when you kind of started seeing delays, and kind of having those markers and time frames on your mind. Like, I totally feel like I blacked out between 18 months and 2 years old, whenever questions and stuff were being asked. Luckily, during the time, I took a lot of videos and stuff, but I'm just now going back through some of those to see to see what I missed. As far as things to look for, as far as behavioral signs of autism, obviously, like the lack of social interaction and eye contact is big. I always made excuses for that because Ezra didn't really display a lot of that with me. However, he did with other people. Let's see, other things. Lining up toys, playing with toys atypically, instead of playing with a car, and going vroom vroom, that sort of thing, spending a lot of time just kind of spinning the wheels, or Ezra did a lot of dropping things, and whenever I mentioned that to his pediatrician, how I found it kind of odd, he's like, well, it's better than throwing things. Yeah, good point. So some things were dismissed that could have been indicative of autism, or at least behaviors related to it. Other things are STEMs, which, sorry, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Back to before you have an evaluation for your child, look up and start researching autism. There's a lot of things that could have very easily pointed to yes for me, or for Ezra, that I am now realizing, because now I'm in the trenches of it and deep diving into signs and symptoms, and obviously how to progress and move forward from here. But STEMs, or stimming behavior, is what children, or really just people on the autism spectrum, will do whenever they are overstimulated, and it's often a behavior repetitive behavior. So it can be words, it can be actions. What Ezra does, his stems are just running circles around the island mostly, but often you see kids like spinning. That's kind of a big one, or flapping their arms or their hands. And you'll see Ezra do it after he has watched a cartoon usually. It just gets him amped up, and then he goes and runs. Which as personal trainers, we're like, yeah, buddy, get your physical activity in. Well, now we know that it's, more of a stem for him, a way to compensate being overly stimulated. I think that's about all I have on that today. We've got some interesting stuff coming up, so I will share that with you as I can as we move forward. But hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you. So I had to go get Ezra from school, and which is why I cut that off quickly. But what I forgot was that some things I wanted to mention about other signs that would have been telling as far as what to look for. Sorry, he's so cute. Yeah. You want to go see Dr. Amelia? Hey, let's get your finger out of your nose. Thank you. Okay, so I just picked him up from school. We're going to go see the chiropractor. But other signs was when he was younger, and he still does this. He picks up a lot of communication and words, language from movies. As well as there's a lot of echolalia, which is basically repeating what you say. Like if you say, hi Ezra, he might say, hi Ezra. Ezra. Also a lot of that. As far as not responding immediately to his name. Just things that you can be aware of or know if whether you're interacting with my child or another child that may or may not have autism.
Warmer in here. I have my heater on. Is it warm? All right, you gonna lay down? Oh, is your sister sleeping? Is she sleeping? It's like, I don't know. Ready? There we go. Okay, let's flip over. I want to look at my ceiling. What are you doing today? Hold on a second. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to give you a hug. Wait. Don't move. Don't move. I'm gonna give you a hug. Oh, there we go. Can I feel your neck now?
Okay.
All right. You're going to sit. You're going to lay right here, and I'm going to come stand right up here.
You stay right here?
How old are you, Ez? Are you 3? Are you 3? Come here. Ready? There we go. Good job. There we go. All done. All done.
What do you think today as far as him?
So first I checked his sacrum. So that's, I lifted up his leg and kind of checked each side of his sacrum, so the right and left SI joint. And the right one felt a little stuck, so we just did a little downward pressure just to get it moving. Kids move really easy. You just do a P to A thrust and it'll just move. And then I went up to his thoracic spine while I turned him over because he's being all wiggly. And it's easier for me to control him if I can hug him. And kids typically like hugs. So I turn him over. His thoracic spine is always a little tight right through his shoulder blades, which isn't uncommon. I mean, we're like that. Kids are like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the amount of times that he falls or, I mean, he sleeps all crazy too, so.
Yep. So I just did a little thrust with a hug adjustment. I do hug adjustments on a lot of kids. Sometimes I hold them. Sometimes I do it on the table. And then I move up to his neck. I checked his upper cervicals. So in kiddos who have any sort of sensory issues or ADHD, ADD, you know, anything like that, or on maybe the autism spectrum, always check upper cervicals. So his is on the right side. So his C1 on the right side is always just a little stuck feeling. doesn't feel like it's moving too much. And that really controls the parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic, fight or flight, parasympathetic, rest and digest. So if it's not functioning right, they have a hard time calming down. So we adjust that side to help balance out his nervous system, and that's it.
Perfect.
Quick and easy.
Yeah.
That's it. Quack, quack, quack.
Right. They take all over
Beautiful.